Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. Folks, we have an excellent show today. There's been a lot of talk about Halloween and what Halloween means. So today, that's one of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Halloween, what it actually means, and should Christians celebrate it? Also, we're going to give you updates on the Ukraine war. We're going to give you updates on the election. We're going to give you updates on things because it's about time the American people get to November the 8th and take this country back. So if y'all ain't got nothing to do, y'all share it around, call your friends and let them know. You're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio, and I am your host, David L. Lowry Jr. And so y'all come on in and let's make it happen, okay? Let's see, did we get a signal yet, bro? You find one? They should. I mean, Facebook really. Oh, there we go. We up. Welcome, folks. Y'all come on in. We got a great show. We're going to talk about Halloween, what it means to Christians, and what it actually started from. Because I don't think a lot of pastors really, and they do. I'm not going to lie for the pastors. They do know that Halloween, what happened to you, Bink?
I'm going to
know that Halloween is a devil's holiday. And
it makes out for a minute, Dave.
Huh?
I'm going to cut out for a minute and I'll be back in.
Okay. And they know that Halloween is not a holiday that Christians should be celebrating because it's about demons and all the rest of that. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to give you updates on the Ukraine war. So, folks, if you're tuning in, y'all share it around to your groups. That's what we're doing right now. Share it around to your groups and let's talk about it. I want folks to, if you want to call in, 708-663-5262. We're going to talk about the truth about Halloween. We're going to update with the war that's going on. It's a lot of stuff we're going to get in. It is All Out Wednesday. And no topic is sacred. No person is sacred. We're going to discuss what we're supposed to discuss today. And that's all you got to do is tune in, share it around to your people. And to my pastors, I'm going to read a little something for y'all today. To the preachers who love to pop out in Halloween. What's up, baby girl?
Hey, everybody. Go ahead. Tell the preachers what message you got them. I was listening.
Oh, yeah. I'm sending the message to the preachers today because I was on the show and we was talking about Halloween. And they was like, this preacher told me, well, I pray over my candy. I said, praying ain't going to do no good over the candy because you still celebrating the devil's holiday. You celebrating a holiday that God said we shouldn't be celebrating. You see, people don't want to hear that because it is more people who don't have a relationship with God who worship Satan on this earth than God's people. No, I ain't going to say that. I ain't going to say that. God's people just done got lazy. They done got scared. They done start tucking their tail between their legs. They don't even know that they own the world. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to discuss Halloween. We're going to discuss the war in the Ukraine. And we're going to discuss the queer Barack Obama, who's running around down there in Georgia. He down there where you at, telling Herschel Walker, Herschel is a liar. Herschel this. He don't care about black people. And he was in the office for 8 years. y'all don't want to hear what I got to say today. It's over the topic.
Wait. You sure? You want to say that word? We'll say another word. We want to keep your show on YouTube. We want to make sure we want to make sure you build your audience on Facebook. So we don't want to shut down by algorithm. So
okay.
You know,
he's a happy camper. Now, let's say he's a happy camper, okay?
Are we talking about Paul Pelosi? Okay, go ahead.
We're going to talk about everything. It's All Out Wednesday. And folks, y'all ain't got nothing to do. Y'all share it out. Whatever conversation come up today, we're going to talk about it. But I do want to talk about this Halloween thing and these pastors because I was on the show, man. I'm telling you, man, this guy, we could have, if we had saw each other, we might have had to do the throwdown. So, folks, y'all come on in. We got a great show. We're going to talk about a couple of things, and we going to make it jump. Y'all share it around. I got to kick y'all out. Binky will be back in a minute.
Hi, Steve.
And I'll share it around. So, folks, welcome. We got a great show today, man. And with no further ado, let's make it do what it do. And it's All Out Wednesday. No topic will be sacred. No person but will be spared from what we're talking about.
Good afternoon, folks.
Let's get ready to rumble, y'all.
That comes up already frequently. Does this have anything to do with the efficacy of
Testing 1, 2.
the vaccine?
Y'all come on in. We got a great show.
I can't choke. I can't breathe. Please.
Y'all sharing around, folks. And let's make it rock.
My wrist, man. Please. I can't take that, man.
Last words of George
I'm laying on the
Floyd.
ground. I'm laying on the ground.
And like I said, as the tyranny continues, black men losing their lives at the hands and women losing their lives at the hand of law enforcement, it ain't stopped yet. It ain't gonna stop until we make it stop. That's what it's gonna have to do.
Police gunning down black kids and men.
Well, we get in some trouble here today. Oh, good old Facebook.
An accident or simply murder.
Y'all tune in. Come on in, y'all.
We can deliver racial justice and we can make America once again the leading force for good in the world.
President Biden, will he make America great? We want to hear from you. Global, universal,
Y'all, come
and
on.
coming from the windy city of Chicago, Illinois.
Chong Lee.
Now it's time to let the truth be told with David Lowry.
Yeah. It's a Wednesday night, y'all. Good morning, Vietnam. And it's All Out Wednesday. And we got great topics. What we gonna talk about today? And we're going to talk a little bit about what Halloween means and what it means to Christians. Because I see a lot of churches celebrating candy. And this Halloween, this day is not for us. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know. You're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio, and I'm your host, David L. Lowry Jr. And let's get it in. Let's get ready to rumble. And it's All Out Wednesday. And welcome, folks, to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. I want to welcome our listeners in today, man, no matter where you at, what country you in, where you at. Y'all come on in and check the show out. We got a great show. Folks, I want to start by laying the groundwork. First, let me give all praises to God and my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for making it possible for me to be here, as well as those who are listening, my regular listeners, first-time listeners, everybody. Just y'all check it out. We got a great show. Now, it has come to my attention. I was on a radio show called The Chris Bay Show. I think it was last Friday. But I was listening to this pastor, and he was all charged up about Halloween. And so as a pastor, I read the Bible enough to know that Halloween is not a celebration day for Christians. And yet, pastors be filling the churches up full of candy, and they be having these costumes, devil costumes, and skull costumes, I mean, rigor mortis, all these costumes. Christians should not be celebrating Halloween. And so when I was talking to this pastor, he said, yeah, man, I got people donated me a trunk full of candy, and I'm gonna give it out to all the little ghouls. And I was thinking, like, see, the problem is this, and that's why I say a lot of pastors and Christians have stepped away from the teachings of God. Because we have to understand this. Halloween is the devil's holiday. It has nothing to do with Christ. It has everything to do with evil. It has everything to do with demons as well as evil spirits. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But first, for my pastor brothers, I want to read something to you. And I'm going to come from Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. And this is what it says. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God that you might be able to withstand in the evil days, having done all to stand. Okay? And then another piece I want to say, before we became pastors, before I became a pastor, I lived in darkness because I hadn't accepted Christ and did the things I was supposed to. But I just want to drop this and say, for you were once of darkness, but now you're light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, finding out what is acceptable to the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. So as a pastor and a man of God, when I read these type of things in the Bible that tell us what we're supposed to do, we're not supposed to be consorting with the devil, with evil spirits, but we must cast them out and we must expose them. So I want to read Halloween, where it originated from, so people can know that I'm not just talking. Yeah, I know it's always about like that. Where every time that I want to read something, every time I want to read something happened. Anyway, the truth about Halloween. But in this Halloween holiday, it has nothing to do with godliness. It has something to do with evil. It has something to do about some witches that conjure up Satan and all the rest of the stuff. And so I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna read it to you guys. It says, the tradition originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, and that's a real evil demon. It says when people would light up bonfires and wear costumes to ward off the ghost. Now, if Halloween was based on evil and witches and warlocks who was trying to conjure up the devil, and they might have, who knows, that from the way it looks, and y'all have to take a look at the world today, they done already conjured up Satan. And so for Christians who celebrate this evil holiday, that is not in line with what I just read in the Bible. So y'all Christians, y'all running around here, y'all all up in the churches, y'all having mass painting your faces, y'all worshiping demons, y'all worshiping all sorts of stuff. But you justify by saying, oh, Halloween is for the kids. But really, when your kids running around with them costumes on, they're actually setting the stage in their mind. They're actually celebrating an evil demon. And that's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to bring in my guest. Yo, what's up, baby girl?
How everybody out there doing? Pretty good. I was listening. I was just listening. And I was
Hey,
looking
Mr.
at a costume that, Elon Musk had on with the upside down cross and
Yes.
Barabbas. So I was sitting there just looking at some of this stuff as you was talking about all of that. So conjuring of evil spirits, they've been conjuring that for a very long time.
Yes, they have. Bink, you wanna add something on that?
It was all about candy to me.
Yeah, oh man. See,
That's all
folks,
I wanted.
Younger, it was about candy and stuff. But look at what they was talking about, candy yesterday. Oh, fentanyl look like Skittles, fentanyl looking like Tic Tacs and candy, and they dressing it up. Watch your children, they're gonna kill them. You gotta sort it out, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And I don't know, I'm 48, there's no kids gonna come down our driveway, so there's no use of us turning on our light for any reason whatsoever.
It's just like Christmas and Thanksgiving.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well,
It's nothing like Christmas or Thanksgiving.
hear me out, Dave. Hang on. Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving is about people trying to destroy a tradition and changing it. Elon Musk is all talk about being in whatever that outfit he was in. Well,
He was in a satanic outfit. He had a leather outfit that he was supposed to have been one of the devil agents. He had an upside down cross, and it was stenciled in the leather, you know that, and it was a goat head. All of that stuff is Satan worshiping. That's basically what it is.
But we're
It has
focused
nothing to
on
do with
Elon
God.
Musk. We're focused on Elon Musk, and we ain't, just like Lucretia said, you didn't have no trick or treaters. You know, schools have gotten rid of it because somebody got offended, so they quit having Halloween parties and parades at school. They're just ruining what is supposed to be something innocent.
But the thing of it is, my brother, is that it is not innocent at all, because actually you're worshiping demons. You're worshiping the demon Sam Ham, which originated. He was supposed to be this awful demon that witches was conjured up. Now you see we don't really pay attention. Now you see a commercial with witches brewing up a brew, and they conjuring up stuff, and yet they're celebrating this day of a demon. And the American people have gotten so commercialized, and that's why I say pastors across this country have drank in the Kool-Aid. They don't drink the Kool-Aid to justify everything that the world said that they should not do. We should not be celebrating Halloween. We should be calling it something else. We can't even call it nothing else, because if we even give out candy, we're still supporting this demon. You see, that's why I say the reason why our children are like the way that they are, they don't have a spiritual foundation. Our children don't know nothing about God, because I'm telling you, when we grew up and we knew about a God, we knew things that we would do and we wouldn't do, because we respected God in Christ. We respected the church. But the church is no longer respected because the pastors today are doing everything that the people in the carnal world is doing. They hoeing, they doing drugs, they drinking, they doing everything everybody in the world doing. And we're actually supposed to be setting an example for God's people that they might want to accept Jesus Christ in their life. Our job is to save souls, not to contribute to the loss of souls by out here celebrating Satan holiday and running around with the church full of costumes and demon-looking things. People, I mean, it is something that we as Christians don't celebrate. And I don't celebrate it. I haven't celebrated probably since I was a kid, when I really understood what it meant. Because as the children don't know. So parents, I'm telling you, before you dress your children up in these Halloween costumes, you need to pick the Bible up, even for yourself, and read about these holidays that are pagan and they're actually against God. Anybody want to jump on that?
No, because it's out there. But go ahead, Steve. I mean, you see it every day. You open up your eyes how much that this is everyone wants to debate you if this nation was founded on God's principle, about the Puritans, about everything else to take him out. So at this point, I don't even debate anyone about faith, God, or anything. It's up to them at this point. It's good versus evil. So you know what? I'm only going to teach my grandchildren what needs to be done, but having a debate on my biblical beliefs and me being saved, I won't.
It's not about that. It's not about biblical beliefs. It is about the fact that what I just read those scriptures to you is in the Bible.
Anything that's written into the Bible, and I would never. I'm not finna sit there and go back and forth. If man wrote it, who wrote it? Did the Spirit write it? Was they sat there and given the word by God? Was they inspired? It's either you believe, you have faith, or you don't. But certain things I'd stay away from because it'll make me angry. And I know how I feel. So, I'm saved by the blood of Jesus Christ. I straight believe in John 3:16. I believe in Revelations. I believe in the afterlife. And I believe that right now that the sky going to crack at any moment. So,
you know what, folks, and a lot of people would agree with Lucretia. And some of that I believe in too. But see, the problem that I have with us today as Christians is because the Bible is a blueprint for life.
But see,
In
that's
this-
what we need to stop, because they done diluted the word Christian. It's supposed to be a follower after Christ. But even Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and Hillary claim and maintain that they're Christians, same as the pastors that's sitting there advocating for the murder and slaughter of the newborn, call themselves Christian. Call me saved by the blood of Jesus Christ. Don't call me at all.
Well, you know what? Planned Parenthood is an agent of Halloween, because all the babies that have been slaughtered in the womb is exactly the souls that have been lost that Satan is looking for. Let's just be real. And the fact of the matter too is this: the Bible is the only book that I have read. I read the Quran, I read some others. It is the only book that I have read that have pinpointed the time that we are in. And when you read Revelations 13, 16 through 17, and it talks about the chip, we see when COVID came, COVID exposed the enemy, and it told Christians where we was at.
Actually, the RID chip was in Obamacare, so it's been out there way longer than that. And when some of us was out there saying, hey, y'all better pay attention. Oh, that ain't never gonna happen. So I'm sitting here like that. I don't debate about, I can't debate people that ain't smarter, at least on the level of I am. So when people talk about the mark of the beast was way out there during Barack Obama, and especially Obamacare. That was one of the major chapters in there. But when you started telling people about this chip or a code or anything like that, no one wanted to believe you. And now we want to talk about it. It's like some of this stuff we've been talking about for years gets boring. And the RID chip been out there forever, and now you're seeing it being sped up by the world elitists and the globalist society. And it's like, I talked about this already. This is why I made sure it's like, I done told you this. Why we got to keep talking about it? We on to new topics. So if people
we're gonna move on. But the reason why I'm saying this is because of this very reason. As a man of God, and I'm telling my pastors across the world who watching this, COVID rushed in the time for the chip to be implemented. Mm-hmm. When they brought out COVID, they talked about the chip. They talked about all this search and tracing people. I mean, all of this was about, well, we get the chip so we can get rid of the money. Why do you think that they're trying to move to digital money? Is because at some point, if they are able to achieve that, that money is going to be gone, and they're going to be putting chips in people in order to buy, sell, and trade. And that's why I gave you that scriptures. But I'm going to say this, then I'm going to get off of it.
It's something that we've been talking about. The people on my show been talking about this event, and it's a global event that has been put into fruition for a decade now. And it's called either Event 230 or Event 203, where they plan all this shutdown. They plan the scamdemic. They even plan which of the variants of COVID-19 gonna come out next. They came out there and actually called monkeypox what monkeypox was, and all this stuff is. It's out there. Everything you're talking about, any smart person, anyone that ain't spoon-fed, anyone that loves to do their own research, none of this should be shocking, because it's been in the play since they got rid of Trump. Where's people been?
That's the whole reason why I'm reiterating what I'm saying, is because this whole thing has been put into play, like you said. As a matter of fact, the chips was at Oricon in Horicon, Wisconsin. John Deere Company, a tractor company, were the first people to come out and chip humans. They put chips in their hands so they can come to work and hit their hands and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a while, but they use COVID as the catalyst to launch it to the American people. And that's the reason why I look at Halloween as a devil's holiday. I look at Halloween that so many people lost their lives. It was so much in Detroit. They burned buildings. It's like the purge. And so what I'm saying is this to Christians, and we're going to go to the next topic. We should not celebrate the devil's holiday. We should not be celebrating it. We should not let our kids celebrate it if we are true Christians and people of God, because our kids are just like sponges. You want to celebrate the Halloween holiday, but you're not teaching your kid about Mark, Luke, John, what Paul wrote. You're not teaching them about the things that they need to know. Just like in the schools, they're not teaching them about math, science, and arithmetic. They're teaching them about lewd, demon things like homosexuality and all of those things. That's what the problem is with the country today. And I'm going to say this and I'm done. To the American people, patriots across this country, and Christians, this is a message and this is a warning to you. If we don't get back to God, if we don't get the church and the Bible and God's presence back in this country, it is about to be roasted to hell. Now we can move right on. Y'all take whatever you want, but we can move right on. Now,
here's something that these people, that your audience can look, if they do their own research, because we say vet us, prove us that we lying to you. It's called the World Economic Forum from Davos of 2021, when they started really talking about the Great Reset. So if anybody knows about the Great Reset has been going into fruition since George Bush Sr., when he got on the Congress floor and started talking about the New World Order. So some of this stuff been playing for decades. For people now to want to say it's the black man's fault, it's the white man's fault, Hispanic fault. No, it's the globalist, elitist, millionaires' fault. You ain't got enough money to play on their playing field. So they having us being confused and fighting amongst ourselves, when all the information that we're talking about, well, we never have to have these discussions. We just need to point people where to get them. It's called Davos, D-A-V-O. It's called also The Hague. It's called Nuremberg. It's so much. It's called Event 203. It is so much stuff before people start jumping in there that you need to back up. So you get the foundation of the New World Order, which is one currency, one religion, and one world leader. Now, all this stuff is slowly but fast-pacedly putting into fruition. The only person that stopped it was Trump. I don't care what you don't like the guy. I don't care if he orange Cheeto man to you. The only person that God put in the position to give us reprieve, maybe to get our eyes to open up, maybe for us to pay attention, was Donald J. Trump. Because Hillary Clinton, she was guaranteed when she got in that White House, all she had to do is exactly what Joe Biden is doing right now. Stamp stuff, and sign executive orders. So talking about some of this stuff that some people that are newcomers and they still calling you liars, I tell you this, prove what I just said was a lie.
And you know what? That's the reason why I wanted to get into that and say what I said, because we know where we're at. And when Trump was in office, that was the reason why they hated him so much. They had to do so much stuff. They had to throw his name out there. They had to create the hate. You know, they had to, and that's why it was so many people that jumped on the bandwagon, because they didn't understand, nor did they do any research to find out why Trump was so hated. And it was because the New World Order needed him out, because he was not going to go along with the program, and he was going to fight them, and he was going to wake up the American people to stand on what's right. So,
okay, Mark Syke just wrote a comment in the chat room. I like I said, I'm interactive. That's smarter people in the chat room than probably some of us combined. But Mark Syke said, "What does Hollywood teach when you dress your children in death, murder, blood, demonic entities that are from the devil or of the devil? Why aren't we changing holidays to the biblical time? Like in the Bible, they had celebrations for the fall harvest, filling up the storehouses and to help the people to survive, because they don't want people to depend on God. They don't want them to depend on somebody else giving them faith. They don't want them to think that they can think for themselves, and they don't want people to know that we are individuals with our own free will. So when you start confusing people and clouding people's mind, and they only beat at what somebody tell you, that's why we get attacked, because we smart, we research. That's why all these left-leaning people, ultra-right-leaning people come and start attacking us, because we're proving everything that's out there in the universe. They have already put it into fruition. So some of these people that come to our pages and call us liars, fools, or whatever they want to call us, I'm like, Mark, then why is it? So until we be approved for ourselves, until we read for ourselves, they can take your money, take everything from you, but they can never take your knowledge nor your mind unless you freely give up your free will. And a whole bunch of people did that with the jibbity jab.
And folks, we're going to talk about the jibbity jab right quick, okay? So here we are. we have been already fooled and tricked and made fools out of with the jibbity jab, okay? The jibbity jab did not save nobody. As a matter of fact, I just saw some new CDC stuff that came out. They said that so many people, it's probably over 1 million people that have been died or maimed and lost something because of the jibbity jab. The jibbity jab was never made or never tested, and now people are dropping dead. It was a couple of weeks ago, it was a young man in Naperville was singing a solo song, 17, 18 years old, dropped dead. And they say he 18, he had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
So see, these are the things that they're not saying. See, when COVID was out, they had it every day. They was on the news every day, the COVID, just indoctrinating our minds. But now that Joe Biden came out and said, well, COVID is all over, y'all. Papa Joe said y'all can go back to normal. But see, the media and mainstream, they not talking about all the people who are dying from this jab now. And we've lost more people from the jibbity jab and more people that have been harmed than the actual COVID itself. Anybody want to jump on that?
Steve,
where you at?
I'm good.
Go ahead, Steve. Come on, tell them the truth now. Come on and shame the devil.
Well, you can't change the facts. So I mean, you know.
Well,
they went through this in '76 with the swine flu too, but they stopped the vaccination because it killed 50-some people. So it's all changed now.
But see, this is why I say Pfizer, Moderna, and JJ, they all have free kills. Let me tell you what I mean by free kills to the American citizen. It's because in the second stimulus package, those companies was given legal immunity. So when these people like are dropping dead now and they all getting caught up, they're getting maimed and their bodies are falling apart, they can't be sued.
Nope. Wait. That didn't go through. That didn't go through. Some of that did not go through. They are now allowing people to actually sue the healthcare industry and these pharmaceuticals, just like when they wanted to hold back information for 75 years, so no one could even get any information from these pharmaceutical companies. Well, that got slapped down too. So that is why they kept saying, well, it's just too much information. We have to release daily. Well, they've been releasing it daily. And now I just got on the CDC website. Side effects of the COVID jibbity jab. 1,900 different side effects that the CDC has on their website. And guess what the last one is? Death.
Yeah, I know, right? And see, that's the whole thing about it. And that's why I said American people, it's just like we sleep at the wheel. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody is actually asking questions. Because you said something, Trisha, the other day that was real smart. And it said, if you want a black man not to know something, put it in a book.
I didn't say that. My daddy said that. I didn't say that. My father.
It came out of your lips. It's the truth.
Oh. My daddy was a smart man. He said, if you want to hide anything from black people, put it in a book. It ain't like we're gonna pick it up and read it. I said, well, dang, daddy.
And you know what? And that's the reason why the education system is so horrible now, is because we're not reading, and they know we're not reading. So ain't no use in teaching the kids how to read. Ain't no use in teaching them how to write, because they all going to be on computers now. I look at some of my 16-year-old son is in a private school. And the only reason why he learned of cursive writing, like what we had to learn, the pretty writing, all like that, he didn't even know it because it wasn't being taught into the schools. They're teaching the kids just how to print their name. They might as well just let them draw X with an uneducated person, because they're not teaching them nothing in their mind. They don't know anything positive.
They're going to be back plantation subjects anyway. They can't read. They can't write. They can't sit there and get a job. They're going to be fed by the government. They're going to be another sharecropper. The same ones that got us off the plantation. I'm talking about all of the old civil rights. We marched with Martin Luther King, are the same one on the front line talking about you racist. We need segregation. We need to go back. Didn't you fight and see people get lynched and murdered for all this stuff? And now before you die, You want to revert us back to what you left? That don't make no sense to me. And why wouldn't you want the next generation to be smart? If you take it back to No Child Left Behind,
Remember
race
that, yeah.
to the top. We all was completing on a global level for us to be smarter and be able to compete on the global level.
Yes.
I'm sitting here looking at Chinese students in classes. What you mean they still taking trigonometry in middle school? They trying to tell our third graders how to masturbate. I'm sitting here like, we're gonna be the world power. We're gonna have some. We're gonna be the world working power. Okay, we're gonna be free slave labor.
And you know what, man? It sounds funny, folks, but it's true. And our children not learning to be competitive on the world stage at all. And those are the major classes right now here in Illinois. If you don't pass the homosexual test, they give it a test here in Illinois. If you can't pass the homosexual test, you cannot graduate out of high school. That's how it is. You cannot graduate until you pass.
You could go ahead and skip out if you say 3.
Yeah. See, and so that's the reason why our children in the future
roll my eyes at you.
Them.
I roll my eyes at you. I roll my eyes at you.
But
Mark, go ahead and roll your eyes too, Mark. Go ahead and roll your eyes at society. That's tomfoolery. I would have brought a D or F home. I'd have got my back broke in.
What you talking about, man? My parents was like this. I couldn't even bring a C home. If I bought a C home, I had to explain why I got it, because my dad was like this. You don't have to buy no food, no groceries. You ain't got to pay no bills. You ain't got to buy no clothes. All you got to do is go to school and get an education. That's it.
That's it.
That's simple.
You sound like Johnny Jones. I swear you did right then. You sound just like my dang on daddy. It's just something that came out his lips.
And so as kids, when we grew up, we were competitive with anybody in the world because we were taught all the basic stuff and extra stuff. We knew about trigonometry, algebra, physics. We were taught all of those things in schools. But you can't ask some of these kids what's 12 times 12, and they can't give you an answer without looking for a computer to add it up.
Oh, I know. It's 144. It's what? I mean, I'm smart too. I'm smart. I'm smart too.
But you know what? And that's a shame because, and parents, y'all better realize it. Y'all children are not being taught to be competitive. They're not being taught to be smart. But they're taught to be social. They're sending our kids to school now to learn from the school curriculum about sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're teaching us.
Well, Steve, Mr. Binky, I mean, both of y'all, why y'all don't take them to the woodshed? I mean, why y'all don't take them behind the woodshed? Because if you in the 80s, 90s, 70s, early 2000s, you try to attack a child, you go near a child, you even try to sniff a child, somebody gonna get punched in the throat.
Yeah, please.
What happened to the men? I mean, my head won't wrap around what.
See, that's the whole thing. We as parents, and we say we love our children, but see what happened to the new wave parents? What happened to the parents who are slaves to their jobs? What happened to those who say, "Oh well, we're not black anymore. We want to be Greek"? What happened is that those people didn't believe in God. And if they said they believed in God and pledged to an idol, then that make you think.
Are you talking about the sororities and the fraternities?
That's what I'm talking about. They don't believe in God. They act like they believe in God, but I heard a guy, he was with us fraternity. He was like, well, you know what? You know, we in our generation, we done moved to another level. We know that the Bible is too strict. And we have to live by the Bible, and we don't want to live by that. Yeah, we want to party and do this and that. Well, when you took that pledge to an idol, when you said that you was going to worship whatever idol it was, Zeus or Ares or whatever that you said, then you became an idol worshiper. And
Guess what? No, take that back. Take that back. Take that back. I don't know why the parable of the son of the wayward child. I don't know why that popped in my head. That's why the Bible tells us we're supposed to teach them the way they should go. They may get off track, but soon they will come back. So yeah, all of us at a point in our lives, and let's be honest, there was a point in our lives we wanted to taste the world.
Yes.
We went out there in the world, and we
Yes.
realized the world wasn't what our fathers told us that we need to stay away from. This is where we smell our own butts. We have to get out there in the world, get smacked down, get knocked down, and have to crawl back home to Father. But guess what your daddies and them do? They open you up. They open their arms and welcome you back home. That's a parable in the Bible. He knew this was coming, just like a parable on the cross when he said, "Woe is thee, the unborn." The ones that hadn't even been born yet, he already knew what was about to happen with the slaughtering of the unborn, especially in the Black community, in the preachers, in the pulpit that's advocating the genocide and the murder, because he formed us. He knew us before we was even formed in the womb. So I need my men back.
You know what? I want to say something to the pastors. My brothers out there of the cloth. First, I need you to do a couple of things for me. Because see, you got to come back to God. I need you to read and reinforce yourself on Ezekiel 33. And that's when we became watchmen for the Lord. But then in 34, it talks about the unjust stewards. And those are the pastors who lost their way, who accepted this time, who are doing lying, cheating, and stealing. They've lost their way. And I'm telling pastors, read those things and get your relationship with God back, because this ain't gonna last. Now, I want to say,
wait a minute. First, you need to tell them to sit down.
you tell them
your way that much where you don't even believe in the Bible, but you in the world, and you're talking about prosperity, and instead of damnation, repentance, and hellfire, sit it down.
Man, you know what? You so right, Trish, because during COVID, me and my bishop, and I might be some other pastors, were some of the only pastors that was coming against this COVID thing, saying this is a direct attack on the church. That's what it was about. This whole thing with COVID was a couple of things. It was New World Order, to promote homosexuality, and to destroy the church. See, the church has been the foundation that have kept Satan at bay all these years, because he has not been able to destroy the church. But when COVID came and the fear came and they shut the churches down, and all the pastors ran back there, well, I'm going to shut my church down, and then ran to the government, I want that COVID money. Give me the COVID money. And when
if you open up your church doors to the jibbity jab.
Give the jibbity jab. You know, and that's so true, man. I watched a friend of mine, Bishop Brazier. He has Apostolic Church in Chicago. And he and I had a talk. And he was like, man, you know what, Lowry, man, you know, you're so right, you know, about what you're doing. You're standing up fighting against the homosexuals. You're doing this. You're fighting for God. But at no time, none of those pastors stood up with me when I brought it to the world's attention that was happening here in the schools with our kids. That's been almost 4 years ago. These same guys right now, when their churches was empty, they start promoting. And this is what Bishop Brady said, man, I'm not really into all this COVID thing. I'm not really, you know, we're going to keep the church open, blah, 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 blah. And then I went and saw him on a commercial on his website talking about, all you folks, y'all want to get back to the church. Y'all want to get back to normal. Y'all need to take the jibbity jab. Go on down, come over to the church. Come on over here, and we'll give you the jibbity jab. And you still got to wear your mask. You still can catch COVID. You still can die from it. But we need y'all to take the jab so we can get paid.
I don't know how God feel about me saying things against the cloth. I'm like, you crazy.
You telling the truth, though.
You crazy. You literally... Okay, then, well, we know who's going to turn in all of the Jews when the end of time comes. We know how Anne Frank actually got on that boxcar. We know that there's going to be a whole bunch of fake pastors. I said what I said. A whole bunch of them that is playing with the word of God and actually instead of teaching. You know what? God got a special place for them. You know what? If it takes me to, because I ain't no minister. Don't even put that on me, Ricky Bobby. I ain't no evangelist. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Okay, we ain't gonna do that. But I can tell you now, broettes out there, you closed your church doors, but you went ahead and took the man's coffer So you took that 30 pieces of silver and
Yes,
you
I
went
did.
ahead and just forgot about what God told you. Then you're not a man of faith, or you're not a man of God. I said what I said.
Well, the Lord said in these times that there will be those who would acting like that they were godly and yet not be godly. And this is the time. And that's why I love the Bible so much. You think you can say whatever's written, but this Bible talks about things. It was written thousands of years ago, but it's talking about things that's happening right now today. Rumors of wars, earthquakes, man would come against this stuff to destroy stuff. All of the things that's in this book is coming to fruition right here in this world, right here in the United States. And the American people, we got to know that this country was built on God we trust. Now look at us. Look at us. We got a war. This is why I say, and you said something that was very smart, young lady. You said that we in this time, it tells about the time. Look at the war. Wars, rumors of wars.
I can
Mankind.
name you 5 wars right now and rumors of wars. I can name you 5 off the top of my head without even thinking really hard. And it's happening today, and it happened, and it's on my news timeline. You got Brazil getting ready. You got North Korea, South Korea. You got Afghanistan. You got Pakistan. You got Iran and Iraq. You got Israel. So you got China. You got Taiwan. You got Ukraine. You got Russia. And then you got the United States with boots on the ground in a foreign land all over again. I can keep naming wars and rumors of wars. Men that halt themselves higher than the man upstairs. We got that everywhere. I mean, we call them Bishop Eddie Longs, but you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But let's say this. I want to, when you said something about Ukraine, you know, to the American people and patriots across this country, and I think this is a very disservice to us. It's disrespectful for us as the American people that since the Ukraine war has begun, we have sent trillions of dollars, American taxpayer dollars, to Ukraine. So why is
everybody wanted to fact check him on his numbers? Let's get this right, because I've been talking about it since all this happened. When you equal up all of the military aircrafts, when you equal up all of the ammunition, when you equal up all of the weapons of war, plus the cash and the ammo, and the foots on the ground, we are pushing over close to $2 trillion that we have washed to Ukraine. I just wanted to, for anybody out there like, that ain't true, you better check yourself.
Because it's this simple, folks. I read an article what Putin said. He said that the reason why he jumped into Ukraine was because, and I want the American people to think about this, he said he saw the Satanism that was being brought to Ukraine by the American country. See, that's what they don't really want to do. See, they don't want people to know the real reason why that he bombed the Ukraine, because what they had all these different facilities over there, bioweapon facilities over there in the Ukraine, all under the ground. They've been pushing homosexuality. They've been trying to get rid of anything that do with God over there in the Ukraine, just like they done in America. That's the reason why Putin said, I am not going to let the Ukraine become like the United States, not in my house. That's in his country. So those are the real reasons.
But then you can go back and look at what happened with Biden under the Obama administration, with all of the funny-dunny business going over there with all of these energy boards. And then, you know, he getting up there in front of the Foreign Council on Foreign Relations, talking about, well, you ain't going to get $1 billion if you don't stop investigating my son Hunter. And then you got to put Paul Pelosi Jr. up in it. It's just too much. And then you got to think about when, what's his name, Zelensky.
Yeah, Zelensky.
Pimptified, and because he used to be an actor, and he used to be a production company. That's what he used to have. He got many reels and videos, hooker shoes, and dancing to Beyonce and stuff. That is when Barack Hussein Obama tried and did the Logan Act all around the world once Trump lost, and he went over there and installed and went over there and put Zelensky in power.
And you know what? Zelensky was on the phone. This is why I say these countries do not respect the American people or that president. Well, I can't even call him a president. An old man with a diaper on that's in the White House. okay? Zelensky is on the phone with him. Joe just told him in June, I'm going to send you another $1 billion. As soon as Joe told him that, he said, well, I need more than that. So you done got almost $2 trillion, and we study sending money over there. Why do we need to be sending $1 billion every other week, and the American people don't know about it? They study shooting them the money. They shooting them equipment. Now they got physical soldiers on the ground over there. The American people better wake up. We better wake up before it's too late.
And
Because
here's the big thing about it, because I think me and Steve were saying, or Steve might have said something in cross conversation. Any nation that America has invaded, what was under the ground? What was their natural resources that we coveted so much that we are willing to risk our own lives, our own kids' lives, to go over there and pillage another country?
see, that's the whole thing. And to the American people, we better wake up, because Papa Joe is already pissed Russia off. And they study sending all this new technology. They sending these men, our boys over there, that act like, well, we're just over here to engineer and teach them how to use the weapon. No, they're over there fighting their asses off, trying to make Russia fall. That's what this is about. But this is what's going to happen. This is what I see happening. And we're going to move on to the next segment. To the American people and patriots across this country, we better get ready. We better start buying supplies, patriots buying supplies, just like they did for COVID. We better start getting some supplies up in our homes. We better start girding ourselves to get whatever we need, because I can almost guarantee you this. As this war continues, and the American soldiers will continue to go over there, they sneaking them over there, I can guarantee you this. In a little while, Putin is going to get tired of America throwing the rock and hiding their hand. And guess what? He's going to drop one of them nukes over here on us. Because the next World War is going to start on American soil.
2 weeks ago, they couldn't find right here. Warship that had went missing in the Arctic Ocean. We know that China and Canadian soldiers have been using our border, northern border, for war games. We know that Russia, they've been doing this for decades at least, buzzing our coastlines up and down the east and west coast. And now that Joe Biden, in his first month of office, allowed and gave China authorization over our infrastructure. That means our electrical grid, our power grid, our food supply chain, our corporations, our medical supply, everything, and even our ports and our borders. We're at the mercy of the CCP. And the only thing that's the whole thing is the Crips, the Bloods, the MS-13s, the rednecks, blacknecks, the rural folks, the country folks. It's going to be American citizens, just like the Second Amendment states. And this is where you better recognize exactly what this means. A well-regulated militia, that's the citizens. That's the free blood-born citizens of America, being necessary to the security of the free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We are our last and first line of defense. You would think the federal government, because that was their duty, was to protect our borders from domestic and foreign enemies. Now we have the domestic enemies taking us over with the help of the foreign.
Well, they cannot protect anything, because one, our military have gotten so weak. We don't have the number of soldiers that we need. It is going to be, that's what Putin said to the American people. Don't lose your Second Amendment right. That's what he said. And because of the fact that now our military is so weak, it's full of homosexuals that ain't gonna fight nobody. Our young men who are single men, they're not like when we came along. We was like, if we going to the Army, we going to the Navy. These guys can't whoop they self out of a wet paper bag, because all they do all day is this. All day. They don't work out. They punch no bags. They don't jump rope. They do nothing physical but sit on their ass and become weak. And that's why the military is not getting recruitment. That's why, and Joe added the worst thing in the world when he forced all our military people to take the jibbity jab, we lost a lot of special people, SEALs. I mean, all of that.
A lot of holdouts. There's a lot of holdouts. So there's still some people that gets in my inbox and on my timeline and saying we still holding out, we still doing the religious exemption, even though Millie and the rest of them are trying to shut that down. They still have rights. So until the Supreme Court, Supreme Court says something, and they still trying to hold these people hostage because of their religious liberties.
Beliefs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you know what the sad thing of it is this is that even though COVID is over, even though and Joe and them knew that they was going to they knew that they would lose in court when it came to mandating this jab, but they did it anyway to scare people and to force people to take the jab. So it was a bunch of people out in New York lost their job, healthcare workers. A judge came back and said, okay, they got to get their jobs back and the company got to pay them back, for every day that they lost. Now, if those rulings came and they knew, the Democrats knew that it was wrong to do this, but they did it anyway, and they created this dissension. And now,
okay, we kept saying Democrats because Republicans jumped on board too. There was only 8 states that closed down they states. It was 8 states and this 50-state union that did not succumb to the fear factor. So we cannot leave out Republican governors, but at least Republican governors open up their states back up when they realized how bad it was crushing their economy. So if the Republican governors just as guilty as the Democratic governors, but at least the Republican governors open up their states back first and fought against all these mandates and the federal government. The federal government was not formed to overstep their rights in states.
And you know what? My hat's off to the Republican Party and those governors who did open their states, like DeSantis. I love him because he has already did the Parents' Right bill in Florida that etched out all the homosexuality stuff and gave all the rights back to the parents.
And you know they're trying to really dog him out. Do they not know he's a first generation over here? They did it the right way, not flood over our borders. His parents came and did it the right way. They stood up, they took their test, they paid their dues, they did what they had to do. So for him to be a first generation American and happen to be a lawyer and a JAG, they don't know what to do with him because he still has that freedom of being, listening to his parents of where they came from. And he knows the freedom and the love for America. And he is standing up because he is a JAG. He is a lawyer. He is in that position where he can slap down these laws. He knows what he's talking about and he's ready to take them on.
And you know what? That's going to be, and I'm telling the American people, we can start to change. See, we can do a couple of things. We can let this government continue with the Biden administration, and I guarantee you the next 2 years, this country will be burnt to the ground.
Sure will.
Really will.
Sure will.
I'm telling you now. And that's the reason why the Democrats and these soft Republicans are trying to get it to that stage because they feel like, well, you know what? We made a deal with the devil. And once we get this war going on, you take the money. All we got to do is keep them fighting each other, the whites against the black. And then when the war comes, we done made a deal already. We going to take over.
Yeah.
See, to the American people, patriots across this country, we see what they're doing. Our eyes is open. We can't come against blacks, can't hate whites, whites can't hate blacks. None of this. We need to rally around each other in unity and make sure we get this government out of the way that they're doing. We need to remove the current day administration, and we need to get this government back under control because they're going out, causing problems, doing things across this country, and the American people is going to have to pay for that.
Amen. Not us. Listen, us. Listen, our grandparents don't have to, if the ones that's still alive, they don't have to pay for this. They pay their dues. Our parents, they don't have to pay for this. Our children and the Generation X, we the ones that's gonna have to pay for this, and we're gonna have to be either the front line to protect our elders and protect the innocent among us, or we're gonna roll over and lose the greatest land that we ever loved. So I don't like people hyphenating me, because when you start hyphenating who you are, sooner or later you can't have two lovers. You're gonna hate one and love the other. That's just like splitting that fence. Call me an American. I'm just American and happen to be black, but call me a child of God first, because he's the first in my life.
And you know what? And parents, I want you to really think about this. Open your mind and think about this. Look at your child and look at your child's future. And look at your child and see how smart he is, okay? And if your child is lacking behind in school and lacking the most important thing, common sense. If your child doesn't have common sense and he's not able to go out and get a job or do whatever he got to do, and you still taking care of him and his ass 25 or 30 years at home, is that the kind of person that you want to leave this country in their hands? They're not ready. So that's why I say the future of this country is bleak. Our children are not ready. They're not physically ready. They're not psychologically ready. And America is going to hell in a handbasket. Now, we got a few more minutes and I want to change the subject. Let's talk about this election thing right quick. Okay. See,
Go ahead.
I see things. And see, people, this is for all y'all who holler, well, we got the first black president. Whoa, we love Barack Obama. Barack Obama gonna make some change around here. Black people, hallelujah. Barack Obama, preachers running around here in Chicago, putting hands on, laying hands on him. They was laying hands on the devil, laying hands on him and all this kind of stuff. But one thing that I just thought about, and I know Barack. Barack, you know I know your ass and you ain't no good. I know him. But one thing that's sad, and this is the reason why Barack said something, those who talk about other blacks hate themselves. Well, Barack, but let me say this. The black side of Barack Obama, not the white side, the black side of him hates himself because the first thing he did when he got to Georgia, well, y'all better recognize Herschel Walker ain't gonna do nothing for black people. And I'm looking at him like, that's the kettle call. Man,
Herschel Walker has done more for development of black entrepreneurs than he could ever do.
Exactly.
I can't
so,
say.
So when people, y'all still running around here kissing his ass like he was the greatest of all time, and he did nothing but destroy this country. He set all this homosexual stuff in place. All of this to come against us, all of this was set in place by Barack Obama. And now his funky ass walking around talking about Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker ain't gonna do nothing for black people. Y'all black people going to those rallies, you better look at yourself and look at your children and see how they living, see how they don't even know they boys or girls. That's because he don't know who he is. And that's why he promoted what he did. I'm just so sick and tired of the Democrats. I'm so sick and tired of the Bidens, the Clintons, the Obamas. I'm so sick and tired of them.
Push up in there too now. Dick Cheney and the Cheneys and Mitch McConnell. You got to throw them all up in there. Just throw them all. Just throw them all.
And American people, y'all know ain't nothing good coming out of this country. Our economy is bad. We ain't got nothing. They still holding hostage. They still making people take the jab on certain jobs. And it's illegal. So y'all better realize this. If the American people don't wake up and we don't start putting things in perspective, we done already lost generations of kids through Planned Parenthood, especially in the black community. We done lost probably about 10 or 15 generations of kids through Planned Parenthood since Roe versus Wade. 60% of those abortions have been roughly like about 50 some million black people, black kids who never made it out of the womb, murdered. That's why the black community and the black family structure, it went from 75 to 12%. And then the men in the black community, half the men, they told, I go both ways. I can go with a man or a woman. That's what they teaching your kids in the school.
Oh, thank you, Christian and Mon. I gotta give them shout outs to my two sons. One is 35. He just left the Air Force 4 years ago. And the other one is hard ass work. Hey, Mon. Hey, Christian. Way to go, Phil. Thank you, man. Just whoop, whoop, whoop. Y'all daddies did a good job.
And so it was those parents who don't consider themselves black, who consider themselves Greek, who have allowed their children to bite into this homosexual world because when they go down there to what's the big ball they go to every year?
The peace drop.
No, it's another ball that they go to.
The underground Atlanta.
Yeah, no. This is a ball that the fraternities and sororities go to, and that's where they get together and they have the snake parties. They sleep with everybody else, everybody's wives. They go down.
The villages in Florida.
It's not the Soul Bowl. It's something else I can't think of. But anyway, these type of activities and these people have allowed homosexuality to creep into our community. And now that it's out of hand, they got y'all kids, sorors and frat brothers. Y'all scared. Y'all scared of y'all jobs. Y'all got y'all little property. Y'all lost y'all way. Y'all don't stand up for black people. You stand up for yourself and you kiss the master's ass and don't want to be black and call yourself Greek. You are the one who dropped the ball. It was under your watch that the black community is almost dead now because you're on the plantation in the mine and you don't lose your job, Toby. That's what I'm talking about. And so until black people really understand, it's going to take the real ones, not those running down there to the boule. That's what I'm talking about. When they get together, they go to the boule. That's everybody screwing everybody's wife, everybody swapping partners, snake party. That's what the boule do. It's about secret. It's about darkness. It's about Satanism. And that's why the generation of the fraternities and sororities, that's why their kids will be homosexuals. That's why when the government come to them, they will not be able to fight back because they have no foundation. They don't know who they are. They don't know where they came from. All they know is my mom and daddy making money. They are slave to the job and they take care of me.
Okay, well, our parents did that too. We call it latchkey kids. We let anybody in the house. We got, you know what? It's a whole nother, it's a whole
That's another story.
World. Yeah, it is.
But folks, it's time for us to wake up. Black people, white people, we got to get rid of the government. People like Barack Obama, we have to quit listening to him. He's the one who induced this homosexuality into our lives. He made it a way for them to get in. Now they're after our kids. They're destroying the country. They're all over everywhere doing lewd things and unethical things. Man, I tell you this, and then we're gonna have to get out of here. I wish this. I wish that I could be famous for the way I have sex. You hear what I said? See, homosexual.
Wait, what? Look who's the basketball player that slept with 50,000 women? Go in the corner and take yourself over there and just go sit in the corner. Just no, we got worse things out here than clapping all over the place. Get on over there in the corner. We got coronavirus.
Well, that's the reason why I'm saying that is because of the fact that they made homosexual a normal thing and it's not. And that is going to be the downfall to this country, just like it was in Sodom and Gomorrah. The same thing they teaching in the schools, we're allowing to happen right now, what's happening in the Sodom and Gomorrah, and we know how that turned out. So to the homosexuals, keep disrespecting God. Keep acting like just because you have an unnatural sex, you should be famous. I wish I could be famous for having natural sex. Shoot.
You don't want to be on Pornhub. Trust me, some of those topics you don't want to touch.
But what I'm saying is this. Until the patriots and the American people across this country actually said enough is, and we've already said that. They're trying to bring COVID back for the fall. And before we realize it, bombs are going to be falling over here from Russia and China and Pakistan and Afghanistan and all the rest of the stands. And we're going to be in a fight for our lives right here on our soil. Your last words, Bink, you ain't said nothing.
Yeah, those who don't know, those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it.
That's your last words?
That's it.
All right, brother. I love you, man. We'll see you. Go ahead.
Give us some inspirational vitamins for today.
That's about it.
Well, brother, I'll see you tomorrow, and have a good evening. Miss Hughes.
Yes.
I know you got some good last words for our listeners before we cut up out of here.
You crazy. You crazy. You trying to build a platform. You got Mark Sykes over here writing paragraphs and stuff. You're going to have a whole big, your family is about to explode because you just drop in truth. And as people over here in the comment section and really are saying what they have to, you know what, we Way to go. Good job.
Thank you, sweetheart. And we'll see you tomorrow. Folks, I want to thank you for listening to the show. We're trying to awaken the sleeping giant. We're trying to bring reality to the American people. And I think that's an important thing that we must do from this point. First, I want to thank God. I want to thank you people for listening. I want to thank all the people from Lucretia, Suzanne Monk, all the people at Tech TV. I want to thank you for listening to the show. Y'all continue to share it around because this is the only place you're going to get the truth. Uncut, unfiltered, just raw, just like cocaine. That's a junkie's dream, is to get raw cocaine. And the American people should appreciate the fact what Lucretia and I are doing. We're putting our lives on the line and we're standing up and telling the American people the truth about what we need to do and what's going on around us. These are my last words. Thank you, Living and Driving While Black Foundation, for the sponsorships you give. Thank you, Dickens CBD. That's my new CBD company. We have forged a relationship with Dickens, and we're going to have a list out pretty soon. And I want people to purchase this. It's good for your body. It's good for your mind. It's good for arthritis. All of these products are good for your CBD products. But folks, these are my last words. First of all, I want to thank God for every day that he allows us to wake up. And we should be grateful just to open our eyes. Even to the homosexuals and all the enemies of God. How can you hate God when he wake you up every morning? How can you hate God when he put breath into your body? See, Almighty God that's in control of all things, all he got to do is wink his eye and destroy this earth. And I think that that's what mankind has gotten so full of itself that he think he don't need God no more. We don't need God. We run the earth. But check this out. Every tongue must confess and every knee must bow. Even the demons in hell tremble at the name of Jesus. So how are we, heirs to the throne, sons and daughters of the Most High God, that we gain this through Jesus Christ? How are we, as his sons and daughters, continue to allow Satan and all of these other demons? That's why I started off with Halloween. Satan and all of these other demons who are ruling this earth. Your time is about up. You better have fun while you're having fun, because when the Lord come back, he gonna clean this place up. And to the homosexuals, I want to keep reminding you, and I don't want to say this, not every homosexual is in cahoots with the groomers. I respect the homosexuals who respect God and who are not trying to indoctrinate our children, see, because I heard a homosexual man in California talk about, we 250 strong. We're gays that are against groomers. The groomers are the ones like Joe Biden. And I want to say this, I guess it was Halloween early for Nancy Pelosi when this guy came to walk through their community in his drawers with a hammer to go knock the door in and have a fight with Paul Pelosi. I want to say this to the people of this country. Let us put our thinking caps on. Let us use our common sense. Let us understand that every breath we take, every step we take is a gift from God. And when the American people, black, whites, whoever, realize that, and we put God back first in our lives and our family and put him back in this country, we'll see the end to the Joe Bidens. We'll see the ends to this homosexuality. We will see the ends to what they're doing, because God is a God of jealousy. And he said, the first commandment is, put no other God before me. And that's what a lot of y'all done did. Y'all done put y'all cars, y'all houses, y'all jobs, y'all bank accounts, y'all done put y'all children, y'all done everything to keep the materialistic stuff that's on this earth, except God and Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. I think you better get a relationship with God and Christ, because if you don't, it's going to be too late. God bless you. We will see y'all tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central, right here. Let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. It'll move your soul. I would rather for you to hurt me with the truth than comfort me with lies. God bless you. Peace.